Welcome to another new episode of the Get Organized with DECLUTTRME podcast with myself, Shelina. I hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Today, we're going to deep dive into the world of books and share our best tips and tricks to declutter and organize your book collection. Now, I know a lot of you still have hardback and paperback books. I have a few, as you can see at the back, but some of you have got thousands of them. So I thought it would be great just to recap some of my tips and tricks on how to get rid of them and also how to organize your collection so that you have a beautiful collection out there. So let's start by discussing why it's important to declutter your book collection. Books are valuable, but they can also take up a huge amount of space in your home. Over time, you may have accumulated more books than you have space for, or may have books that you no longer read or need. So by decluttering your collection, you can create more space in your home, more real estate to find the books that you love to read and to put other things that you want to put on the shelf. So let's talk about the process of decluttering your book collection. The first step is to take all your books off the shelf and sort them into piles. Now, if that all sounds overwhelming, you can do a mini declutter. So you do section by section, spending 15 to 20 minutes getting the books out which you want to declutter or donate. You create then a pile of the books that you want to keep, a pile for books that you don't want to keep and want to donate or sell, and a pile of books that you're unsure about. Once you've sorted your books, it's time to make decisions about what to keep and what to get rid of. One helpful question to ask yourself is, does it make me happy? Do I love this book? Does it make me smile when I read it and when I look at the cover? I have that with A Suitable Boy. It's a massive book. I have a special limited edition collection of it. It's such a huge book and I don't read it that often now, but I love it so much. It makes me so happy seeing it and I can always see it behind me on my bookshelf. So if that is always going to stay with me forever and ever. So if you have books like that, keep them with you and think about that. If you don't feel the same way about the books that you're holding, then declutter it or donate it. Another question to ask yourself is, will I read this book again? If the answer is no, it may be time to let it go. However, if the book is a favorite or has sentimental value, it's okay to keep it even if you don't plan on reading it again. Once you've decided which books to keep and which to donate or sell, it's time to figure out what to do with the books you're getting rid of. So let's start with donating. Donating your books is a great way to give back to your community and to help others enjoy the books you no longer need. You can donate your books to libraries, schools, or local charities. There are collections here in malls and in certain places like Jumeirah. I have a friend who has like a place, it's like a telephone box, and you can go put the books in there. And, for people to pick up and read and use, and then they give it back or whatever. And I've seen it in the UK as well. And I saw once that there was an initiative on the tube that you could read a book and then leave the book on the tube, and then somebody else would take it to read it next. And they'd leave a note there to say that it was for donation and for somebody to read. But I think because of COVID, it doesn't happen that often now, but it was a thing before. Another option is to sell your book. You can sell them online through websites such as Amazon, eBay, or Craigslist. And in certain countries like the UK and USA, there are specific secondhand book websites you can use to sell your books. You can also try to sell them locally through used bookstores or garage sales. Now, there are a few bookstores here in Dubai, and I've seen them in the UK as well. So check out and see if there's anywhere you can sell your books. Some of these bookshops are very particular about what they will accept. They will accept children books, novels, but like if it's Harry Potter, unless it's limited edition, they're not going to care because everybody's trying to get rid of that. And 50 Shades, I've seen a lot of 50 Shades being decluttered. Some bookstores may offer store credit in exchange for your books, which can be a great way to get new books without spending any money. Now that we've talked about decluttering your book collection, let's move on to organizing your book. There are many different ways to organize your books, and the method you choose depends on your personal preference and the size of your collection. So one common way to organize books is by category. So you can group your books by author, genre, or subject matter. This method is helpful if you have a large collection and want to be able to find specific books in less than 5 seconds moving forward. So when I work with clients with book collections, I go for the fiction, but then it's crime, sci-fi, specific author, and then non-fiction. There'll be cookery books, biographies, art, design, coffee books. There's all these different things. And then there's the children's books as well. So categorize it how you feel comfortable with it. Another way to organize books is by color. This method can create a visually pleasing display, and it's helpful if you have a small collection or want to add some color to your bookshelves. However, it is more difficult to find specific books if they're organized by color. And I have to say, I have been asked by clients to organize books by the rainbow color just because they've seen it on Instagram, and it's painful. I have to sit there and remember that Richard of York gave battle in vain, which is the colors of the rainbow. And I have to say it over and over again. And it doesn't make sense. And especially if it's with children's books and they're a collection from one author, they're all different binders, like they're all different colors. So I'd rather you have all the same authors together rather than this randomness. It just doesn't make sense. Another way to organize books is by size. So you can group your books by height or your thickness, and it creates a neat and uniform look on your shelves. If you're creative, which a lot of my clients are, they like to put it the heights by different heights and stuff to make it look visually creative, and it works for them. It doesn't work for me, so I like to put them all neat and uniform. It's really helpful though if you have a lot of books that are at the same size, or if you want to create a specific aesthetic. So as again, it's up to you what you want to do. You can always organize your books however you feel comfortable with. And with books, it's such a personal thing. Your shelves are so personal. So, think about what's best for you with organizing. Then let's talk about making the most of your space. So first, consider using bookends or bookshelf dividers to keep your books upright and prevent them from falling over. This not only looks better, but also helps protect your books from damage. I had to get a few book ends when I got my books behind me, but I also use some books as bookends as well to hold the books up, and plants and different things. So I've used decoration as well for my bookshelf rather than using book ends on all of them. So see what works for you and what you can come up with creatively. I'm not that creative, but I was a bit creative on my bookshelf, if you can see if you're watching me on YouTube. Another tip is to use shelf risers or adjustable shelves to create more space on your shelves. So by adding extra levels, you can make room for more books and also create more visual interest on your shelves. Finally, consider incorporating decorative elements into your book displays. So you can add plants, frame photos, or other decorative objects to the shelves to create a more personalized look. And that's what I love doing. I have only one bookshelf, so I did do that a lot on that bookshelf. So now that we've covered both decluttering and organizing your book collection, let's review the key takeaways. When decluttering, ask yourself if each book still makes you happy or if you plan on reading it again. If not, donate it or sell it. When organizing, consider grouping your books by category, color, if you must, or size, and use bookends, shelf risers, and decorative elements to make the most of your space. That's it for today's episode on decluttering and organizing your book collection. We hope you found these tips useful and that you're inspired to create a more organized and visually appealing home. Join me next time for more tips and tricks on home organizing. Thanks for listening as always. Take care. Bye.